going on, Broncos country? Welcome to another edition of Broncos Daily with your host, Kurt Valenti. You want the latest Broncos news, Broncos talk? Make sure you like, subscribe, and of course, comment. And I will get to your comments on the shows Monday through Thursday. And if I don't get to it Monday through Thursday, of course, we all know in the off season, Friday is Fan Take Friday, where I just do a full show of your comments. So you leave your comments, I will get to it. Obviously, you guys can get Broncos Daily on YouTube. We're also on Facebook. Check out for some clips on Facebook. If you guys just want to do the podcast form and listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're even on TikTok. So let's go. You want some Broncos talk? Make sure you find us. But here we go, guys. So rolling into a new week. Obviously, the schedule's out. We're going to get into that tonight. We're going to break down game by game. We're going to do one or two games a show. Then we'll do a final prediction, and we'll go on from there. But otherwise, quiet weekend, nothing crazy. Some more of the Von Miller stuff and the Nick Benito, and, Von still trolling if he's going to become a Bronco or not. So we'll see what goes on there. But otherwise, quiet. So let's get right to it. The schedule came out, obviously, last Thursday. The full schedule. Some games leaked. Again, the Broncos on some primetime games. Monday night, a Sunday night, a Black Friday game, and a Christmas Day game. Tough, though, out of the gate. Tough, right? I mean, I saw some reports that the NFL, I know Colin Cowherd said that, the NFL is after Sean Payton. He doesn't like him. That's why they gave him such a tough schedule to start. Listen, we can't be crying about what the schedule is. It is who it is. The opponents, we knew who the opponents were, how we play them. And listen, it's going to pan out where, every team that was good last year isn't going to be a tough game as we thought. And there's going to be some games we thought was going to be easier. It's going to be tougher. That's the NFL. That's how it is. It's a year-to-year league. But let's start off. So Monday night, opening night, ESPN at Kansas City. I like it. I like it for a couple of reasons. One, and I have some people commenting on our posts, and that's great. Keep commenting like I'm crazy. Broncos country's crazy for saying the Broncos, the division runs through Denver. I mean, how does it not? We're the defending champs. It goes through us, not a team that won 3, 4, or 5 years ago, right? Like that's the past. It's all about what you do now, what you do lately. Like Bill Parcells said, you are who your record is. We're the defending champs. And that's what I like about this opening game. Now, is it going to be easy? No, of course not. You're going to have all kinds of emotions. So just say Mahomes is back, right? And I think everyone expects him to be back. I think, ESPN and the NFL kind of expects him to be back, to put him on a Monday night showcase. And that's fine, right? So that place is going to be fired up. They're looking for revenge. We have smacked them around the past couple of years. Again, like I said, we won 3 out of the last 4, but it should really be 4. The 4 were a missed field goal away, a blocked field goal away from sweeping them the past 2 years, right? But let's break this game down. I think Denver, obviously, listen, it's a divisional game, right? It's a divisional game. So does it matter? It's opening game. Like, it's opening game for both people, not just for Kansas City, for us too. But we match up with Kansas City very well. And it's because we have something that causes them issues, and that's a pass rush. Their offensive line is a mess, right? It's a mess. Now you're bringing in some rookies and some drafted guys and just throwing them in and saying, hey, go protect an injured Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't work like that. I think we're going to see a more balanced attack and running. Obviously, they got Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker and gave him a boatload of money to, ease the burden off of Mahomes and make it a run-first team. I think this is going to be a run-first team. Obviously, they still got their weapons with Rice and Worthy and, Kelsey, even though he's older, he's still a playmaker. And listen, they're going to be coming for revenge. We took something that's theirs, not just beat them. We took their division, their stranglehold on that division. Now it's in our hands. We're the champs. But like I said, we match up well with them. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be nuts. We have to run the ball in this game, okay? Just like Nix is coming, just like Mahomes is coming back, Bo Nix is coming back. We can't just rush him in, throw it 40 times in a loud environment when you can't hear. Are we going to have to throw the ball? Of course, we're going to have to throw the ball. But we have to run the ball. Kansas City is not a good run defense. I don't look at stats. Look at the games last year and the past 2 years where they've struggled, like in big games. They do not stop the run. Okay, they don't. The only way they've been stopping run is they're putting extra guys in the box, and now that leaves them susceptible for big plays. Like look at the Super Bowl a couple years ago; they were so worried about Barkley, Jalen Hurts was destroying them, right? So, I don't. It's not going to be like that because Denver hasn't shown we're going to just pound the ball. Denver has not shown that, but it's going to be very important that we do run the ball. But I think this game is going to be on our defense. We have to stop the run and get after Mahomes, right? Rice and Worthy again. Hey, that's a nice 1-2 combo. But when you have Moss and Surtain and McMillan and Barron, I mean, it's supposed to be the best secondary in the league. So let's go. Let's lock up. Let's go get him. Let's make him run and go get a victory. Right? And I think the Broncos will prevail. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Again, defenses will be flying around. I think defenses always get better of the offenses early in the season just because it's, you're still getting used, especially, these two quarterbacks. I don't know how much Mahomes is going to do in the offseason. Bo Nix is just going to be ready for training camp. But I think you see a couple big plays from this offense. Particularly Jalen Waddle. And I think the Broncos start 1-0. I think it's going to be a tough game. Like I said, low scoring. But I think the Broncos find a way. I think led by their defense. And Bo just makes a couple of plays. I think we see a little, the Dobbins, Coleman, Harvey, see a little of the run game. And I think the Broncos, and again, when you're on the road, listen, it is so hard to win any games in the NFL. But on the road games, like, it doesn't have to be pretty. I don't need 34 points. I don't care if we win the game 10-7. I don't care if we win it 13-10, 14-10. Who cares? Just get the win. And I think the Broncos make a statement opening night because they are disrespected. We won 14 games, 15 including a playoff game last year. Okay? Hosted an AFC championship game without our starting quarterback and still lost the game by 3 points. Right? And you're third in the division, projected to come third in that division. That's disrespect. And how do you get the respect? Is a game like this with a national audience in Kansas City who's running their mouth, who's chirping, who people are saying is the better team in the division. Let's see. Right? And I think the Broncos start that season in an uglier game led by our defense. And I think the Denver Broncos become 1-0. Like I said, guys, I want to do a couple of games, one a day, but I wanted to start this week off because we didn't do anything on any breakdowns Friday, so we'll do 2 today. Then I think we get to a game that the Denver Broncos have circled, right? Like any game versus Kansas City and the Chargers, opening game is circled. But I think the game that the Denver Broncos really want this year is the home opener against the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you look at last year, it wasn't Buffalo. It wasn't New England. It wasn't the Colts. It wasn't Kansas City. The team that embarrassed the Broncos last year were the Jacksonville Jaguars in our building, right? And our defense just got lit up. Nobody did that to our defense. We could not get off the field, right? We made a guy, Parker Washington, look like Wes Welker. Couldn't cover him. And Jacksonville just went up and down the field on us. Boop, 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 boop. And our defense had no answer. And I think our defense thought they were going to get that rematch and revenge in a playoff game. But it didn't work out like that, right? Like they got upset, right? Jacksonville, Buffalo beat them, knocked them out, and we didn't see Jacksonville. Jacksonville was one of the hottest teams. Jacksonville was a team everybody was saying that was going to go to the Super Bowl last year, and they got beat by Buffalo. So we never saw that rematch. But I think our Denver Broncos have circled this game because this, and especially this defense is going to be just licking their chops to get at, Trevor Lawrence and company about what happened last year. There's been some changes, obviously, on both sides of the ball. Travis Etienne, who we were after, who we put in an offer for, and probably the Broncos were shocked he didn't go to Denver, went to New Orleans, is gone. They signed Chris Rodriguez Jr. out of Washington, so it's really him and Tootin are going to be your running backs. You still got the Brian Thomas, Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington. We better solve the Parker Washington issue, whether it's McMillan, Barron, or we better switch something on that. But that cannot happen. Over 100 yards and touchdowns left and right, that can't happen. Devin Lloyd on their defense, and they were a very underrated defense last year. Packed up and signed as a free agent elsewhere. But again, their defense is still going to be, a very good, aggressive. That's what they are, an aggressive, a fast defense. You got, Travis Hunter, right? Does he see the offensive side? Well, I know they're saying he's going to be more of a deep back, but coming back to Denver, back to Boulder, what happens? Does he, get some reps at the, wide receiver spot? So, interesting game. And, Liam, Cohen and, Sean Payton, not the best friends, making comments about a small market. I think, and I read this somewhere and I agree, I think Sean's going to have something for him, for Mr. Liam this year. I think Sean's going to have something for him. And I think the defense is going to do what they want to do. They're going to be, lights out, going after Lawrence. I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to run the ball without ETN now. And I think this is the game the offense breaks out, right? Because even though Jacksonville, like I said, an aggressive defense, a smaller defense, but, prone to give up big plays. And I think after a struggle in week one, even though it's going to be a win versus Kansas City, I think the offense at home with the crowd, no crowd noise, all that stuff, lights it up. I think Waddle has a big game. I think Sutton has a big game. I think we get the ground game going. I think Bo makes some plays. And I think Denver wins this game by 10 points. I think this is, like I said, this is one of those games where especially that Denver defense is going to say, F you, here we come, and we're going to show you last year that that's not happening again this year. So I'm going to start the Broncos off at 2-0. Two tough games, two playoff teams from last year, one playoff team. Kansas City has been a perennial, last year, obviously, a lot of things went wrong for them, but they're expected to make the postseason. Both of these teams are projected to be a playoff team this year. But I think the Broncos win this game. I think they win it by 2 scores. I think being home is the difference. And I just think our defense is salivating by saying just not going to happen from last year. So I will have the Broncos going 2-0. We will continue tomorrow. We will look at another Sunday night affair against the Rams, which could be a Super Bowl preview. I will break that one down tomorrow. But what's your thoughts, Broncos country? You know what? Play along. Give me yours. Give me your opening. Give me scores. What do you think? Give me a prediction week 1 at Kansas City, week 2 home versus Jacksonville. Let's move now to our final room. Like I said, we've been doing room by room breakdown of positions, and we're going to look at special teams as a whole, right? When you talk about special teams, first thing we could talk about is obviously Marvin Mims. And I got a comment, and I got to get to it. And this is from Harry Leland saying, Marvin Mims Jr. breakdown. I am here for this all day, every day. Just make the show about Marvin Mims hype. I will be happy. You should be happy because there should be hype around this guy. This guy is one of, if not the best punt returner, kick returners in the NFL. He has the chance to go the distance anytime the ball is kicked to him. And he also has shown as a receiver, and I think we're going to see a little more with the Davis Webb and Sean Payton combo that you saw it in the playoffs. This guy could be a legit receiver. But let's talk a bit about the special teams, right? And I know there's a couple of people that are saying, move him full time, get him out of the punt return spot, and I just don't know if you want to do that. I know there's a guy, Colby Katzis, undrafted free agent, returner, did it in college. There's a chance like he can make the roster as a back of the end receiver and returner. And I'm not against that, but I do not want to take that away from Marvin Mims because he does it so good, right? And he's such a game breaker. Now, could I see where, the Broncos are up big in a couple of games and he's not returning late in the game and they, go with a younger guy and see what he's got. Yeah, I can see something like that. Or I could also see it to where, he doesn't have to do it every time. But, why take something away from a guy and why take it away from the team where he's one of the best in the league? So I think he will be your punt returner. I think he will be your kick returner, and I think he should. Definitely punt returner. I don't know about kick returner, right? Kick returner, we could look. R.J. Harvey got some, Bidet, the running backs. I think R.J. Harvey, it's another way to give R.J. Harvey touches. But definitely as punt returner, Marvin Mims is going to be the guy, right? So I cannot see why Marvin Mims would not be that guy. And it's crazy, for them not to use him that way. Will I still want to use him on offense? Of course I do. And I think they could incorporate that. I think he could do both, right? But almost look like what Kansas City did with Tyreek Hill, like in his heyday with Kansas City, right? Like the bigger the games, the bigger the moments, like he was the returner. And then sometimes like, okay, he, obviously he was their wide receiver one. Later on in the game, they're up, they had somebody else returning. I could envision something like that with Mims and Denver. But right now, I want him returning. Let's also look, obviously, when we talk about special teams, we talk about the kicking game, right? Will Lutz. Will Lutz was shaky early on with when Sean Payton took him from New Orleans. But I tell you, last year, he was in the AFC Championship game. Yes, he missed. I mean, just the elements, the snow, the wind, and I'm not going to hold that against him. But other than that, he's been money. And I'm glad that he's back. I have full confidence in him. I think Sean loves him, obviously, and Sean has confidence in him. So I would say we're in a good spot there. Punter, Jeremy Crawshaw, draft pick last year. Again, not a great start to his career, little questions, but as the season got better and he got a little more confidence and used to the altitude and stuff like that, he became a nice little weapon for Denver. Cheap, right? When you draft somebody, you expect them. When you draft a punter, you expect them to make the roster. You expect them to win any competition. So I think he'll be there. Other things you got to talk about is the punt, the punt coverage, the kickoff coverage, and we have a couple of good ones, right? Devin Key leading All-Pro, one of the best, in the league. And when you're an All-Pro at anything, you're one of the best in the league, right? So you could say, oh, well, it's only a special team player. It doesn't matter. Special team matters. People just think it's about offense, defense. It's offense, defense, and special teams. Special teams can win your championship and lose your championship. So I think the special teams have gotten better. Are they where they can? Is it the top of? No, I think it'd still be better. But we also remember Tyson Anderson came from Kansas City. He was a very good special team. And then you get these linebackers, right? The Murdochs, the Drew Sanders. Guys, like if they could just make the roster, right? If they could just make this roster, and obviously Sanders is the key because we've been talking about him on the show, but he could be like an unbelievable special team player while he waits his turn behind Cooper and Benito to get outside linebacker spots. I mean, he could be one of the best players in the league doing that. Where else did I want to go? Tareen York is another one, the linebacker. If he can make this roster, undrafted free agent, but again, Denver gave him a lot of money to come here. So I am excited about this special teams. I think, when you have game breakers, right, like Marvin Mims, I think I'd rather have the home run guy in that. Like he just changes field position, right? Instead of, okay, guy, he's not going to fumble, but, he's going to get you 9 yards, 10 yards, and, but no big plays. Like, give me the Marvin Mims guys. Like, give me the guy where it's all momentum. Boom, there's a 40-yard return, a 60-yard return, change field position. Here we go now, right defense to offense. Like, that's the guy I want. That's what we have with Marvin Mims. But I think our kicking game is solid. I love our return guys, and I love, like I said, led by Key, Anderson. You're going to get these younger linebackers. So I'm excited about the special teams. It's a big, important thing. It's not like it doesn't matter. Like, you've seen it win games for us, and you've seen it lose games, right? In that Kansas City game, we couldn't kick a field goal. A field goal got blocked. I mean, that cost us a game, right? And that just can't happen, especially later on in big games when you're playing for divisions and in postseason games. So You know, I like it, but Broncos country. That's me. What do you think? Tell me what you think about Mims. Keep him as a returner. If you keep him as a returner, are you happy with the special teams? I am, but what's your thoughts? Guys, like I said, before I get into a couple comments to close the show, make sure you like, follow. You guys have been awesome. Over 1,000 subscribers. We keep pushing. Facebook, same thing, follow. Apple Podcast, Spotify, but leave your comments, right? I'm going to get to a couple of comments every day, and whatever I don't get to, I will get on Friday. But I love interacting with you guys, so let's go. Bring it, and here we go. All right, from Collecting G's. Wishing injuries on other players is completely out of pocket. I hate Mahomes more than anyone, but I want to see Denver beat them with a healthy quarterback. This schedule is tough enough. We need to beat the best to be the best. Can't hope for injuries and fourth quarter comebacks this year. Denver needs to show up on both sides of the ball. Last year, it seemed like it was one or the other. With our defense, they don't need to score 40 points a game. They need to be able to run the clock down by running the ball while scoring 3 touchdowns a game. 100% Collecting G's. I totally agree with you. We are still a defensive first football team. And I still believe, and not that I believe, I'll say, I don't want to say no, but that is the way to win football games. Run the ball and play defense. Then make your quarterback make a couple, 4, 5, 6 big plays a game. We don't need 40 points a game. You don't. I don't want to be an offensive first team. Do I think our offense has to be better than last year? Yes, I do, especially in the run game. And you're right. We have to be able to run the clock. We have to be able to run the ball. If we could run the ball, one, it keeps our great defense off the field, right? 2, it opens up everything else in that pass game. If you can run the ball, now you have to put a 7th, an 8th, a 9th guy in the box. And here we go. Now, Sutton's one-on-one, Waddle's one-on-one, Mims, Franklin, Ingram. You know, your running backs out of the backfield. It's just an absolute nightmare. But it starts with running the ball. And just like you say, defense has the lead. Offense gets the ball. 4 minutes left. You run that clock out. First down, first down, first down, first down. Run it, run it, run it, run it. You have to be able to do it. You can't just go and say, I'm going to throw 3 downs, right? Look at last year in the postseason. Even at home, you had weather that was tremendously an issue, right? We could not run the ball. We couldn't run the ball. And now you're putting a backup quarterback the ball in his hands, and we all know what happened. But running the ball is priority number 1 on offense this year. Get the ball to your game breakers number 2. But like I said, I agree with you. It's still about this defense. Boss Man Jay, I welcome this schedule. I know you're a Ric Flair guy, and he said to be the best, you have to beat the best. Woo! If we belong in a Super Bowl, we win these games. I am a wrestling fan. I don't know if I'm a Ric Flair guy, but I'm a wrestling fan. I watch wrestling. But you're right. I think he actually said to be the man, you have to beat the man. And you're right. You know what? Yeah, let's go. No shortcuts. Because you know what? When you win a Super Bowl, there are no shortcuts. You might get breaks, right? You might luck out here, luck out there to get to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. And I think every team, you kind of need breaks to fall your way. But you also have to be able to beat good teams. You're going to face good teams. You're not playing a patsy schedule all year in the playoffs. So you know what? Bring it. Let's go. NFL wants to give us 6 tough games. Let's go. Right out of the gate. Who cares? We're playing them anyway. It doesn't matter when we play them. If we're as good as we think we are, and I think we all here know we're a pretty damn good team, okay? Let's go. Bring it. Thank you for that comment. Let's go from Jesse Barrasso. He definitely can't go by stats from 40 years ago. Elway was the best ever in my book. I judge with my eyes, not stats. Jesse, I'm going to bring that comment back on Friday, but 100%. You can't look at stats. Stats mean nothing, right? You could look and say, well, look at this quarterback. He threw for 440 yards today. Right, but he also put you in a 21-0 hole. Like, that's the Kirk Cousins guy. You know, I'm going to throw 3 picks. We're down 28, 6. And now I'm going to come back and score meaningless, go 12 for 12 when the defense is giving me everything underneath and I threw for 400 yards. Don't look at it like that. It's the eye test, 100%. Stats don't mean anything. They don't. They don't. This guy threw for 22 touchdowns. He threw for 48. Doesn't matter. Hopefully, you know what? The guy that threw for 20, they're probably running the ball in the end zone. And that's what you want to do. You shouldn't have to throw the ball when you're down the goal line. Do what Kyle Shanahan does. Do the 49ers, Mike Shanahan, the Shanahan system. Run the ball. You get inside the red zone, run the ball. So don't go by stats, but I agree with you. Listen, I'll debate anybody. Elway was just, if people don't want to say he's the GOAT and he's top 5, there was never a quarterback that could do what John Elway did. None of them. I'm going to get to one more before we end the show today. Let's go to BSU fan. If Knicks isn't top 5, then neither is Allen or Mahomes. Knicks beat both last year, so either they get a free pass or your haters are full of you know what. BSU, I'm with you, man, on this. I'm with you. The Josh Allen love, and I'm not going to say Josh Allen isn't a good quarterback. I think Josh Allen is the toughest quarterback to play against because of the big running back, like the big, him being like a bigger quarterback and the running ability. But when are you going to start doing stuff to win? You got outplayed by Bo Nix. And Mahomes, the past 3 seasons, decline, right? You can't just go and say, now, me personally, I'm still going to put those guys up there because I just don't think there's a lot of good quarterbacks in football. I don't consider Dak Prescott a good quarterback. Jordan Love. Those guys don't win, especially in the postseason, right? They don't. But when you look at ability and you look at what a quarterback's job to do is to win. If you're saying Josh Allen's up there and Patrick Mahomes is up there, then Bo Nix is up there. Really, who has won more than Bo Nix in his first 2 seasons in NFL? Without weapons. That's the key. Without weapons. He never had Jalen Waddle. He didn't have Kelsey, right? He didn't have Tyreek Hill. He didn't have Stephon Diggs. He never had guys like that. Who's his running game? But now, with Waddle and Sutton and another year of Bryant Franklin and Marvin Mims, now watch. Bo Nix is a top 5 quarterback in the league. I'm sorry. If you disagree, you disagree. But his job is to win. His job is not to have stats. His job is to win. And how many people have won more than him in his first 2 seasons? How many? With not a lot of offensive weapons. Now, year 3, with Sean Payton and incorporating Davis Webb, let's see. Let's see now. You know what? Let's hold that conversation to this season, and then we'll see about top 5. But that's what I'm going to do today. Guys, awesome show to start the week. We got a big week coming up again. Tomorrow we will break down a Super Bowl preview maybe. Week 3, Rams, Broncos, Sunday Night Football. Again, we can change our predictions once the season gets. We're just looking ahead like everyone makes predictions. We'll make predictions. Let's do it together. Like I said, leave your comments. I got them beating Kansas City in a close one on the road, and I also have them double digits, Jacksonville at home. So I have them right now at 2-0. But let's keep track. You guys leave, and we'll go game by game. And when we get to the end of the schedule, now we'll see what our predictions are. So right now, I'm 2-0. But that's going to do it for another edition of Broncos Daily. Check back tomorrow. Like I said, leave your comments, anything you want to talk a bit about, especially Broncos, leave it, and we'll get to it. And go Broncos.